Hello there.
Hello.
Well, how are you doing?
Welcome.
Welcome. Hello. Congratulations.
Rocket says, late.
Who's late? Us?
Yeah.
Because we're usual. If we're late, but we always are.
Yeah,
if anything, we're early.
Yeah. You know, we're getting closer to 8 o'clock than normal, so that's something.
Yeah, look, we didn't say we started at 8 o'clock. We just said that the stream does. And
right.
How do our
we
word?
don't have to be here. We can just put you on the waiting screen the whole time.
I don't know if you saw that whole screen before this one where it says like we're getting ready. I clicked a button to make that happen, okay? Like I did my job.
Yeah, they're expect. I think they're just expecting too much of you. We got a lot of people in the chat already. Welcome Xenoots, welcome Bell Rocket, Leviathan Den, Liz Zay.
Hello,
the
you
gang's all
pretty
here.
people. I'm here as well, and so are you.
It's great to be here with everyone.
It's another episode of DrawBomb. Brandon, tagline the show right now on the spot.
Okay. Welcome to DrawBomb. Show where it's you guys make it happen.
All right, well, we won't be doing that again, but that was a fun bit to try out, and I
Welcome
thought
to DrawBomb, a show where the drawings are the bomb.
All right, yeah, okay, you got it back. You earned it back.
Welcome to DrawBomb, a show about that doesn't contain bombs, but it is a show, and we draw. What's that? What do you think?
But man, you could have stopped at the second one. I think we got the message.
To DrawBomb.
No, please don't.
It's on Twitch.
That's accurate. It's good. Done deal. Book it. Done.
Probably the best one.
Book it. Done. It's on Twitch.
Ian, how you doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing, my fine friend?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Doing great. Fantastic.
We've gone viral.
Viral, you say?
Oh my god, yes. We got like...
Did you catch COVID again?
No, thankfully not. But we got like 6,000 views on one of our YouTube shorts. And...
I saw that.
That never happens. We're famous now.
That has never happened.
We're getting yachts.
It doesn't never happen because it did happen this time. So
we got yachts.
Did they give you a yacht? So when did they send you the gold square?
The play button?
YouTube button.
I think we're waiting for it in the mail. I think it's on its way.
Okay, so they send you a yacht at 6,000 views, and then after that you get the button.
Yeah, you get the button once they think you're cool enough, and I think 6,000 views. That's pretty cool.
Can't get much cooler than that. I feel cool. I feel great.
We'll put on a sweater.
Bella Rock says, "Nice save, Brando. Thank you. I don't know what I need to save. I just nailed it out of the park like 5 times in a row.
Yes, you're
I'm at the top of my game. Yeah. Let's see. Bella Rocket says, even though we're late, she likes your music. So, you know, there you go. Little consolation prize. When do you get your monetization funds? Leviathan Den says. That's every time we hit a certain amount of money, they send us a check.
Yeah, they're gonna send us a gold bar every month, and it's up to us how we get that cashed in.
The unfortunate part is we have to pay for shipping, and gold is heavy.
Gold is so heavy, it turns out. I tried to carry it to my local gold cash shop, and let me tell you.
We buy gold.
They were like, first of all, this is a laundromat, get out of here. And that's a lie. And I told them so.
If you were in a laundromat, you were at least like a door or two down from a we buy gold shop, definitely.
For sure.
You're probably close.
I'm pretty sure this was the right place though, and I let them know as I screamed it in their 2 inches from their face. They acted like I was some kind of freak. I didn't appreciate that, so I yelled louder. And
that usually works in that situation.
absolutely. And so eventually they gave me like $20 for the gold bar and said get out of my face. And I was happy to make the deal. I mean, that seems like a first offer right out the gate was pretty high in my opinion. So I think I'm a natural.
Not really a haggler, huh?
I didn't need to. We'd already won. It's like they were afraid of like my charisma skill, like my barter skill was all the way up.
Was that 100?
Yeah, it was at 100.
Okay. Well, make sure you send me half of that gold bar funds.
For sure, for sure. They gave it to me in crypto, so I just gotta get that figured out now.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like one of those Zelda quests where like somebody gives you like the cuckoo, and then you have to hatch it by taking it to like the sleepy guy, and then from there, you eventually get the big Goron sword. It's like that right now, and I'm on the like 3rd quest.
I can't wait till you finish this quest line. And
Me
you
too.
Just have money. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I've never really did
Double
well
Rock
on those
says
quests.
we should bury the gold, but I think we have to turn. Well, it's turned into crypto now. Can we bury crypto?
No, but we do get a gold bar every month. So the next one, we'll have to. The thing is, we got to figure out where to get the chest, because you can't just bury gold. Like that's not how it works. You need a chest.
You can't bury loose gold.
No, are you kidding me? Don't be ridiculous. We need a large, ornate wooden chest with a key that's old and rusty.
Okay. I suppose if it's a wooden chest, you can just break it open, right?
I never considered that. They don't really let you do that in the video games.
No, they definitely don't.
Did they ever try that in any of the pirate movies of yore? Did they ever just try and smash that damn chest open? Key be damned. Do they ever really need to bother with a key? I feel like a lot of the times when I think about that trope, I picture them, they have the chest and they just go, eep! You know, they just kind of, eep!
Yeah, they just open up.
Yeah.
The ground keeps it closed. You don't need to lock it.
Yeah, it's very loose open too. It doesn't look like there's any sort of latch mechanism. They're just like, eep! You know, and it's open.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just need to oil up those hinges a little bit, it sounds like.
It's a very squeaky chest that I'm portraying here.
Leviathan Den says, well, don't forget us peasants when you're walking the streamer awards, you bunch of winners. Yeah, you know.
Oh, I intend to forget everybody.
Yeah,
I intend to absolutely let the power go to my head. What would be the point?
I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna be like, I have nobody to thank. And then I'll just throw the award into the crowd like with like a perfect spiral. Like
I'll be up there at the podium and I'll be standing next to you, and then I'll look over at you and I'll go, who the fuck are you? And then I'll like kick you into a well, like 300 style. That's like there at the awards. And
Do they have a well on the stage?
They've gotta have like so like they have people for like if their speech goes on for too long, they've got the music that they play, but eventually, you know, some people stick around, they cut the mic, but then what do you do? Like they need a final measure. Push them
down a well.
They have a well, they have somebody go and they kick them down. 300
the well has
style.
to sit there as a looming threat.
Yeah.
To warn you that like, hey, if you don't play by the rules, you're going in the well.
You're gonna be in that fucking well, bro.
Who's down in that well when you fall in?
Oh man, ironically enough, one of the people from the movie 300,
Oh, the actor that got kicked in the well.
No, not him. He's fine. It was like a boom mic guy, you know, just like I think they call them grips. But no, it was just like,
hey, I'm Grips.
Hey, I'm Grips. Yeah, Grips McKenzie, the classic boom mic guy who worked on the movie 300 and plenty others before it, but none after, because he got the award for best boom mic guy, and he gave a speech that went on too long. It was too long, and it wasn't his fault. He was actually caught in a miniature Groundhog Day loop, and he just kept giving the same speech over and over, but it was like a self-contained Groundhog Day loop, like a Narnia situation.
Wow.
It was a weird situation of time and space paradox, but he got kicked down a well, and he's still down there.
They just leave you down there.
They just leave you down there. You're down there.
They throw you food down.
They throw you like a steak every day at the beginning of the day.
That's not too bad.
They don't cook it.
Oh god, just a raw steak.
Yeah, they feed you like a tiger in a pit.
Gotcha. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. These are all true facts.
I guess I'll just keep it short from now on.
All of this is true. And yes, keep it short, or lest ye be kicked down the well. Those words were written on the Oscar trophies. The little base, little name tag thing.
So, when actors win awards, why do they feel the need to like explain like how to live? Like they like try to give some really like poignant advice because they did a good job. Like it's like, and now the Golden Globe for so and so who played a green screen dragon in like whatever movie, and then he comes up and he's like, you know what? The secret is always get back on the horse and never give up. And things like this become possible, and you're like, wow, this is unrelatable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for actors.
It seems to be during the Oscars, they're always like, we need to stop supporting this and that. We need to do what's right. We need to make the change. And it's like, okay, but like, all of you are all clapping, which means you all agree. You guys are all the ones who have all the money. So why don't you fix this shit instead of complaining about it? You guys all have billions of dollars.
Maybe they're talking to each other instead of us.
Maybe they are. Maybe that is. But then, like, so don't you all hang out? Don't you all get together? Can you have these conversations?
You got to do it on stage.
Yeah.
A little virtue signaling never hurt anybody.
Absolutely.
Leviathan Den says stream is dogging down. Well,
yeah, the bar's been doing what it's done. We can only do so much, unfortunately. The internet's been kind of jank here lately. I should probably go and unplug some shit one of these nights.
And Lizuze says, I see a kitty. Yes. Pepple. Peppa's right here.
Look at that kitty and cat.
Little Peppa cat.
You know,
Ian, have you ever seen a magician show in real life?
I don't think so. No.
We used to be really into it as kids. I think most kids are. I don't know. But our parents took us to see a David Copperfield show once. He was like very popular in the 90s for like.
I remember catching a few of his tricks on the YouTubes, being like, wow.
I don't know what he's doing now. He's probably still like in Vegas, still doing shows. That's usually what.
Probably doing the same exact thing as he's been doing for years.
I don't really remember the show much as an adult, but I think I liked it then. Some of it's just like weird, like I don't know. It's I don't know. It's weird when you like have that much of a budget and you're a magician, because then your tricks are like, he's like, and now I'm gonna fly around the room, and it's like, okay, so you're obviously like on wires, we can't see him or something, but like I don't know. Just
now
like,
I'm gonna teleport
having a lot of money
these
isn't
people.
magic, right?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna teleport these people. I mean, for some people, having a lot of money is magic, and it makes you.
I mean, it'd be magic for me, but I'm
anything.
saying like, you know, having a lot of resources to make your show, like to do more elaborate things, it's like not quite as impressive as like somebody that can like, I don't know, do something with nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they just pick something up and make it disappear in their hands. Like sleight of hand stuff is like almost more interesting. I guess it's not as interesting for like a stage show, but I don't know.
Yeah, when you're on a stage, man, you gotta go big or you gotta go home, or at least your audience will, cause like, you know, you gotta teleport somebody. You gotta make people think that they can end up in Hawaii and then hug their dad who never has had time for them in an all very dramatic and heart-wrenching fashion. You know?
You gotta make a yacht disappear or like a helicopter or something.
You gotta toss the little koosh ball around the room and at the exact right sequence of people. And wow the crowd. You gotta wow the crowd, brah.
You gotta wow the crowd.
Gotta wow the crowd.
Oh, Belbo Rocket says, I was drawing, but I got tired, so I posted in Draw Along if you want something to stick to the fridge later. Oh, we will definitely do that a little bit later.
Let's do it. Let's take a look-see.
Oh yeah, I would love to see it.
I'll do it. I would love to see the little thing on the fridge.
Thanks for drawing along. Bail, bail. Bail, bail.
My hair is in my face today. Ugh.
Getting long again.
It's doing it. I need to get it cut soon.
You gotta fly back to Michigan to get your hair cut here again.
That's right. Let's go check out this here draw along. Well, hey.
What has old Bell Rocket been working on lately?
Why is this getting cut off like this? Let's fix that. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
This is doing the Twitch homepage right now. Hold on.
Little cozy cabin.
Little cozy cabin. There we go. Beautiful. Can I rotate this a little bit?
I like when it was the Twitch homepage for just a second.
That lady was rocking out on that guitar there. Whoever.
She was grooving.
Grooving.
Little did she know we were hosting her.
Oh yeah.
Her channel's gonna do really well now.
Dude, we totally bring the audience to people. This is Bell Rocket's drawing, by the way. Look at that. Look at that gizzy.
Very nice. I like it.
I like it too. I think it's quite fun to look at. I enjoy the style.
So I love, like, I would place like that. Oh, whoa. I would like to live in a place like that, but I also like a place like out in the middle of the woods. Can't help but think about, like, hope no one tries to murder me out here.
Yeah, if anyone knocks on your door, there's like...
Oh god, that's already terrifying. Just like someone just interacting with me out there. It's like, no, I expect to see nobody here.
It's like, hold on, why would anyone be out here ever? Let alone this time of night, but like ever.
Yeah, but I do like solitude. I could be a pretty good hermit. I just, you know, I don't like getting murdered. That's all.
You know, this may be
what's your stance on getting murdered?
This may be a hot take, but I'm not a fan of murder in general.
Same.
Not a fan. I'm like, hey, let's take a rain check on that murdering me thing, eh?
Yeah. Why does everybody want to murder me all the time? I didn't do nothing.
People try and murder you a lot?
Yeah, they're always trying to murder me. I'm just like... Yeah. Like, on my way to work, and some guy's like, hey, I'd like you to sign this petition. And I'm like, nice try! And I run away really fast.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound like a murder attempt. That sounds like a petitioning.
I'm sure he... No, that's what you... Oh my god, you're as good as murdered if you were
oh my gosh.
around here. That's how they get you. You're the oldest one in the book.
If someone tries to murder me like once a week, usually, like I'll be walking along, some guy will walk up and he'll say, I'm from the future, you caused some sort of horrible incident and we gotta destroy you before this is allowed to come to pass. Is it always the same guy or is it a different guy? It's different people every time, because what I usually do is they come at the same time for some reason. I think there's some sort of error in their machine. They can only teleport at a specific time. That's when the garbage truck comes. So I just kick them in front of the garbage truck and then, you know, problem solved. I kind of move on. It's very lucky if that garbage truck ever takes like a day off, like I'm screwed.
How fast is this garbage truck coming in hot enough that you can just push people in front of it?
It's not about how fast.
Are always moving pretty slow.
I mean, this thing's not like taking its time, but it's not so much about how fast the garbage truck is moving. It's about like the positioning and the timing of when these people are teleporting in to try and stop me. They usually get enough time in to say, I am from the future. You know, they give me the spiel. And then right when they finish that like explanation of why they're there to murder me, that's when I can get that boot in. And then the truck comes, and it's pretty traumatizing the first 5 times or so that I had to kick a person in front of the garbage truck. One of these people from the future, but you kind of get used to it after a while.
I feel bad for your garbage man, who's probably traumatized from hitting like dozens of time travelers.
Oh, for sure, but like those things run pretty loud, so I imagine he maybe hears one of the 3, like 1 out of 3, and then the rest kind of get drowned out in like the loudness of that garbage truck. Like those things run loud, but
That's true.
I have considered that before. I've thought about maybe sending him a cake, something like that, or a card, sort of explaining why nice. I keep kicking people under his truck. And thanking him for not calling the police.
Yeah, that's the interesting part.
He's a real one for that.
Makes me think that he's hitting people elsewhere if he's like willing to cover this up. He's like, you know,
I think he knows.
This will draw a lot of attention to all the people I run over on my daily route.
I think, you know, I have to imagine at one point he's seen like the laser blaster that's like in their hand, and like he just you know, instinctively comes to the same conclusion any normal person would if they had like at least a brief moment to inspect the scene, and he would say, oh, that was a guy from the future trying to assassinate him because of a thing he causes in the future. Like everyone would come to that same conclusion if they had a second maybe or 2 to see, you know, what my situation was. Like the fact that he's driving away actively, like immediately, doesn't help. But if he's looked through his rear mirror, he's probably thought like, yeah, that was a person from the future to assassinate him. Like, no doubt in my mind.
It's pretty fascinating. Most of the movies I've seen, the people are trying to convince people they're from the future, and no one believes them. But you guys are saying just visually, you'll automatically know these people are from the future. Is that right?
Once he sees the laser blaster, it's a done deal.
Right. They don't have those now.
No. Like when you see a laser blaster, what do you think? Like if you saw a laser blaster, you think
guy from the future.
Guy from the future. So clearly.
Yeah.
So
right. Okay, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah. Have you ever, so you've dealt with some, what sounds like not assassination attempts. I kind of fend off an attacker once a week.
I just told you about the ones where people try to kill me.
So, sounds like we live pretty full lives, you know. We've got
You know, a lot of people are after our heads. Bubba Rocket says, I live in the woods. It's nice, but I admit sometimes I run to my door from my car at night in case a chainsaw man is waiting in the woods. At least a chainsaw you'd hear.
You would hear Chainsaw Man.
They're loud.
In fact,
what
you're running maybe.
Is like
running
Machete Man.
Machete Man, you want to be terrified of, but your running may actually be hindering your ability to hear Chainsaw Man.
Well, honestly, as a kid, like running up the basement steps, the noise of my own feet running up the steps made me think somebody was chasing me and made me like, you know, it was a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy thing.
Yeah, your mind hears what it wants to hear.
True.
So Brandon,
the place I'm about to move in is kind of in the woods, so.
Oh boy, now you're gonna be.
There you go. I will have to run from Chainsaw Men too.
Do you get a man cave at your new place?
So I'm gonna have like my own office studio area, but no, not a man cave.
Okay, because I'm just thinking you guys are space. You guys are really missing out on like the whole house hunters type ordeal that people have to go through when they're looking for a house. Like, you know, that show is hilarious just because it's like, and people like comedians have made jokes about this before, but like these two people who want these completely diametrically opposed things out of their house, like she wants a lovely view of the city, he wants a shack out in the middle of nowhere where they can't hear you scream. Let's find them a place. And I remember like first of all, every episode being like where the guy's like, I want a man cave, like is so true. Every episode the dude's like, I want a man cave. I remember one episode I saw, like the most recent episode of a House Hunters type TV show I've seen. The husband really wanted like a place that was secluded. Like the one house they showed was like in the middle of the woods. You couldn't, and like at one point the husband's like, hold on, I can see a house like way off there in the distance. It's like, oh yeah, that's like 300 yards away, like that's about the closest house. And he's just like, this is too close. And I'm like, what the fuck, the house is like so far away, like why do you want to be so secluded? That's what it seemed like. It was so strange, and it was annoying because it was like, this is the most you're gonna get, my dude. Like you're gonna have to build a new house.
Yeah, you can't live where you want to live. Go. I mean, there's places where you can be secluded, but not if you're like trying to be near a city or something.
Yeah, just a very strange man, and all the people who, first of all, if you decide to leave your major life decision of like where your next home is gonna be up to a TV show, you're probably I don't know.
Very happy.
Like, what does that say about the person who's making that decision?
The show has to cover some of the bill, right? Like that's the only reason. There has to be some kind of incentive.
I have to assume, or do they just have like such a hard time finding houses? They're like, fuck it, you know what? Let's let a TV show do it. You know, it's just.
Honey, I think we need to let a TV show do it.
Fine, let's get those. Fine, only if I get to do bits with the cast and crew, though. I want to do. We get the twins, bits.
Or do we get the annoying husband and wife? Which ones do we get?
Yeah. Do we get like the trio of 30-year-olds who think they're all hilarious?
Bubba Rocket says men are predictable. So, Bubba Rocket, predict what Ian is going to say next. While she's doing that, Bubba Rockets also says, house hunters are so annoying. Imagine having a couple million to get precisely what you want. I don't know what that means. I mean, I guess, yeah, like just get whatever you want. But like these people like don't have taste, so they don't know how to put it into words or like actually pick out the things they want or hire people. So maybe that's the point of the show. I don't really know. I'm assuming a lot. Bubba Rocket still hasn't predicted what you're gonna say. Oh, is mix it up not on? Leviathan then just tried to punch you.
Oh, whoops! I logged it in to the wrong. Hold on, one sec. Well, it looks like Ian Probs wants a man cave. No, that's a stupid idea. I would never want a man cave. I'd want like the closest thing I'd want to a man cave would be an office. People who are like, I want a man cave, are just like people who are vaguely hiding the fact that they hate hanging out with their spouse. That's what a man cave means, is I hate my wife.
I want a room that I can be like, no, you're not allowed in here. Like,
yeah. I want a room where I can be self-conscious about my my control over my life and live in like a man cave so that I can remind myself I'm a man. Because I feel not like a man because I feel like I've lost control, and men have control.
I feel like man cave is a very like kind of like 2000s thing. I don't know. People still
a
lot of jokes about it now, but do people still give a shit about a man cave?
You know, I think there are people who I mean, and obviously my assessment doesn't apply to everybody. I'm definitely grossly exaggerating, but yeah, I don't know. I think I've still seen people request man caves as late as the year of our Lord 2022, but I can't say for certain.
I just need a place to put all my neon signs and my TV. I want to watch the game with the boys, but I need my own room.
Wait, why didn't it? Why didn't I get punched? You know what? I have an idea.
We're taking a very anti-violent approach.
Yeah, we're not getting punched. Let me try something real quick. Yeah, I don't know why. Don't know why I didn't get punched in the face. Try one more time. I was just thinking earlier today how much I like this feature, so for it to not work. It was a little off center. It was a bit off center.
He whiffed you.
He got the top of my head.
Player one, fight.
Sort of gotcha.
Did it also miss?
It got your
Punched my shoulder.
Yeah, it got you right in the titty, I would say. Got you right in the titty.
Fight.
Nope.
We're all just getting punched.
We're just getting punched back and forth. This is the perfect time to be doing this, by the way, is right now. We line me up like it's got you lined up then. That one got me right in the face. Owie wah wah.
Right in the kisser.
Pow right in the kisser.
Player one, fight.
I never know when to do it.
Like if I made this bigger.
Did I time it right?
You timed it right. I feel like it's still hitting you right in the boobie.
That's my weak spot.
That's true. All right, I think we're good.
All right, good enough. Color in this thing.
Let's color this Jim Jam. But yeah, yeah, I think man cave is sort of becoming an outdated sort of term. I think we're just gonna go back to calling it the basement again. Like I think
like a den or like a basement or like
yeah.
I mean, I'm all for like having like a room for like fun stuff, but
people should have
lock it down to just your room that your wife can't go in is
it's a weird thing.
Weird thing.
Like I think you should definitely have a room to put your nice stuff and to also have leisurely activities. If you have a pool table, you need a room to put it in. Like, you know, it doesn't got to be in the man cave. It can just be in the rec room. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go, the rec room.
Yeah, rack room brawl.
Leviathan Den says, I mean, I want a man cave for my cigars, my whiskey bar, my animal mounts. There you go. You can sip on whiskey while looking at mounted animals. Yeah, but it doesn't need to be a man cave.
Yeah.
Oh, I like your little your little assistant. Forgot
Thank
about
you.
that. Key element.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, like, cave. No,
I was about to say it too.
But yeah, House Hunters is still a ridiculous show, even to the most recent modern times that I've seen it. And it's not something I would watch like more than an episode at a time, or that I would particularly seek out. But if there's an episode of House Hunters going on, sometimes I do like to just like kind of, I'll keep it on the channel and watch the drama.
Reality shows are a lot of fun.
They are.
When you're ready to watch some like garbage. I've been really like enjoying them the last like couple of years.
Well, I can't wait to make our reality show.
Yeah. What's that about again? I forgot. We sold it so long ago. Still in production.
Oh man, it was called Who Will Eat Brains First. And it's where we just lock 8 people in a room with a dead guy who like fell off of a cliff or something like that. And then we tell them, hey, none of you are getting out until somebody puts that dude's brains in their mouth. And then we just let them figure it out. If they're even in that room for like 8 hours, that's at least 16 episodes. And maybe actually more like if we can include recaps, intro, sequence, credits, 8 hours, we can get probably a full 24-hour episode season.
People say everything's been done.
Yeah.
Bella Rocket suggests Stuck on a Roof or Asshole Chef.
Stuck on a Roof.
Those are great reality shows.
We'll
get around to
Stuck on a Roof. Which I just like the name of that title for that type of show is very visceral.
Yeah. I think even though we're doing the Lonely and Desperate, I think we'll occasionally do like commercials for these other shows.
Yeah, I would love that.
A little bit.
Stuck on a Roof.
On Fox.
On the DrawBomb network.
Like?
What type of reality shows?
Yeah, are there any that you are a fan of?
I may have talked about this already on DrawBomb, but my favorite reality show of all time would probably have to be Hotel Hell with Gordon Ramsay.
So Asshole Chef.
It's Asshole Chef, but he's inspecting a whole hotel. A whole ass hotel. And I'm telling you, man, this show is fucking hilarious because a hotel is so much more of an encompassing experience than just a kitchen. So it's like...
I'm surprised that Gordon Ramsay is like an expert on hotels.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but it's basically an excuse for him to go to the worst places ever, and he's just going, oh my god, there's beetles all over the windowsills. Oh my god. Oh, there's piss stains on the walls. Oh god, why is she singing in the lounge? Oh god. So, but yeah,
a donkey every episode.
Hotel Hell is amazing. I highly recommend it. It's like Hell's Kitchen, or not Hell's Kitchen, which I've seen a lot of. It's not like the other one, where he reforms the shitty kitchens. I forget what it's called. Kitchen Nightmares.
That's the one. Lizeze says Hotel Hell is my fave. So there you go.
Yeah, Hotel Hell is hilarious. It's a shame there's not more seasons of it, because it's truly, you get some wild people running these hotels. And hold on, I have to look up how a tiger's head looks. But anyways, or a lion's.
You drew one for Critter Cam.
I know.
Oh,
no,
a lion.
Yeah. But there are there's this one hotel that's just this rundown shack, and like every night like a fucking jam band comes into like the lounge, and like they get high and like play music and have like a party like in the lounge while people are like trying to sleep, and the place is dirty as hell, and like the food is a nightmare. There is like always a kitchen aspect to these hotels, which is sort of like where
Right.
Gordon's like, oh, this is my bread and butter. But yeah, and it's just these ridiculous hotels, and because it's like this, a bad stay at a hotel could sort of kill you because you know.
Sure.
So it's just so funny to see these horrific places with these like ridiculous people that run these establishments, and it's almost always a ridiculous person. Like the one hotel, the lady, like it's a husband and a wife, and the husband bought the hotel for the wife, and the wife likes to go to like the food restaurant area, and they have like a stage, and she sings Cher songs like for 2 hours every night at that like place. And all the like, and then Gordon Ramsay goes around and he's like interviewing all of like the people who stayed at the hotel, and he's just like, oh, what'd you think of his singing, mate? And they're like, I fucking hated it, I wanted to die. And so he has to like convince the wife, like, hey babe, you gotta stop singing, no more singing for you. And you know, she's so ridiculous, I don't remember if she even like agrees to stop singing. She's like, this is why I wanted this place.
So she gets to sing.
Exactly.
That up. Interesting. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll have to check that out.
Highly recommend it.
We've been watching, we haven't watched it in like a couple months, but we've been watching a lot of Alone, which is basically one of those like, we take you out to the middle of the wilderness, and you can only bring like a backpack of like 8 items.
Oh yeah.
And then you gotta, whoever survives the longest wins. And
we've
that
talked
show
about this in private, but feel free to regale the audience.
There's like, it's fun to watch because me and Morgan are, even though we have no survival instincts at all, we love to talk shit and just be like, oh, you idiot, why'd you do that? Even though we'd be like dead the first like week.
That would be a great kind of show to do it for like a commercial of.
Yeah.
Like, who will be food first?
Basically. I mean, honestly, the first season we watched is like this season where they're on this mountain that's just covered in grizzly bears, and they're just constantly like avoiding giant bears, and I'm like, holy shit, like, someone's gonna get eaten.
And that would be I would be like trying to get off that show.
Oh well, that's easy. You can get off very easily. You just have to quit, and then they come pick you up.
Perfect. I'd be like, oh, grizzly bear. Nope, sorry, I'm out. Someone come get me.
And then I was watching this one season, and it was making me so mad because this one guy that he was like, he came in like 2nd or 3rd place, and the only reason that he made it so far is because he was the heaviest when the show started. He was doing the worst job. I don't think he found food like once. And there's people that are just like wasting away, like where they're getting pulled. They do health checkups, so they pull you if you're like too low weight, or if you know you're frostbitten or anything like that.
Yeah.
And there's people just getting pulled away like they're like skin and bones, like, you know, they couldn't find any food. And he found like the littlest food of anybody, and almost made it to the end because he was just like living off reserves. So I'm like, if you're ever on that show, just get fat before you go on, and you're good to go.
There you go. That's the key.
That's not like, that's just a good strategy for that show. Like, just, you know, build up some reserves, and then you don't even have to bother. You just go hang out in the woods.
Hey, Derek, we just wanted to talk to you, Derek. We think you've been sort of putting on some weight, and very rapidly, and we're just curious if everything's going okay. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be on that TV show Alone or Alive or whatever. This is my survival weight. I'm ready.
There you go. But yeah, and then there's just like shit like people like trying to like eat like plants and like poisoning themselves, and like one guy had a squirrel like shit in his water and he didn't know it, and that like made him so sick that he had to leave. It's like it's pretty crazy to watch.
So you're watching people almost die? Is that's what you enjoy?
There's something sick about it. Like sitting
I'm
on your
enjoying
couch, like, eating a pizza.
I'm enjoying delusional people have their dreams crushed in front of them, which is fine. You are watching people on the brink of death, you sadistic freak.
Honestly, the messed up thing about the show is it's like, they're like, this season, 8 contestants have a chance at $500,000, and they're like almost like, they're like pushing themselves to their like absolute brink. There's people that are like getting pulled out like who are about to starve to death, and they're like, no, I'm not ready to go. And it's like,
please, they're gonna break my legs.
It's kind of sad because it's like, shit, this is what people will do just to have some money.
Capitalism, this show.
Yeah, basically. So on that side, it's like a little messed up, but it's kind of fun watching some people like really know what they're doing and build like these crazy like shelters, and then other people like throw a tarp over a branch and it's like -20 out, and they're like, why am I getting frostbitten? It's like, because you're sleeping under a tarp. You didn't do anything. And there's people that are like, I'm a carpenter at home, and he has like a door like with like working hinges all made out of wood, and everything's like all beautiful.
I would be intrigued to see how I do on a non-grizzly bear season of that show, but I don't think I'd do particularly well.
And then
I think I'd last a week.
Some people build some crazy shit where you're just like, what the? One guy built a boat out of like a tarp and like sticks, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was possible.
I've built a tiger pit.
There's no tigers here, but
oh, a tiger pit's when you I think they call it a tiger pit.
The thing with the spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I've built one.
It's a interesting show.
Yeah, if I was on the grizzly bear season, I would just surround myself with tiger pits. I can see these fuckers
if you catch a grizzly bear,
I'm eating bear tonight.
You win the show. If you have enough meat if you have bear meat on the season where everybody's starving, you win the show. And
I have a new bear skin coat.
Honestly, that season, I mean, I'm not spoiling it because I'm not saying names or anything, and I'm not even saying which season. But this season, everybody was starving, nobody could find any food, and one guy managed to get 1 deer, and he won the whole show just because he had some food, when everybody else was just like wasting away.
There you go.
I don't know. It's a weird thing.
I want a reality show where you're it's like a dating reality show, like Flavor of Love, but instead of Flavor Flav, it's Shrek. Or it's, because Shrek doesn't exist. It's a guy dressed up as Shrek.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask how they date Shrek.
I don't know.
AI. I don't want to break the news to you.
AI.
Another really good one. Doomsday Preppers is fantastic. Oh, our cams are frozen apparently.
Oh, whoopsies! That's because I had the lion reference photos up. There we go. Hello.
We're back.
Hi.
Doomsday Preppers is a really fast show. Have you watched that at all?
I've seen the commercials. I haven't watched it.
So these people are like setting up their whole like plan for like when the grid goes down and they have to like apocalypse, whatever. And almost everybody is like has done it not that good of a job, or they have like a bunker. They're not thinking about the right things, because like how do you really prepare for something that nobody's ever really lived through, like in the best way? But anyways, and then they rate you at the end. Like they like have a team of like survivalists who like basically like rate what you've done and like give you a grade and like tell you about how long you'd be able to survive and what you have built up. And everybody gets so mad because they're always like, you'd survive a month and a half, and they're like, what? No, like they've like clearly they've like made it their whole life, and they've like dragged their like wife and kids into this whole thing, and they have like they're just like annoying people because of it, and they get all mad and they're like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. No, I think I'd be better. And then there was this one episode where it was just this rich fucking guy, and he had like this giant mansion on the top of a mountain, and everything's like concrete walls and like all this huge security system, and then just like a giant basement full of food, and they're like, you actually would survive a long time, and he's like, huh, cool.
Of course.
He's just like, like, yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's I'm rich as fuck. None of this was.
But everybody else is like a camper filled with like cans of like beans, and then they're like a spot in the woods that they're gonna drive their camper to, and they're like, yeah, this is not gonna work out for you.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I do enjoy the scene. That's another one of people's dreams being crushed in front of them. That seems to be a common theme.
It is.
With a lot of reality television. Is it's always either people on the brink of death, getting your dreams crushed in front of a million people by like really mean people, trying to fuck. Those are the three main catalysts for Be Famous. Those are like the four main catalysts for most reality show sort of themes.
Sometimes multiple at once. Like there's plenty of try to be famous and get your dreams crushed shows.
Very true. There's a lot. Most of them are try and get famous type shows. Have your dreams crushed is often an element in the ones that aren't about getting famous, or frequently are. I don't know. They all intermingle, and you kind of get like equal amounts of them all. But those are the four main themes, I think, if I were to like boil reality shows as a genre.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Belba Rocket says, if the grid goes down, my plan is to die. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, you know, it's not like I'll actively like, you know, off myself immediately, but like, I think more people, a lot of people think they're going to do better than they will, but the truth of the matter is everybody's just going to drink dirty water and get diarrhea to death.
Yeah.
Like that's going to kill like the majority of the people. It's like, I drank out of a river and then I pooped till I died, and that's gonna be the end.
Yeah, pretty accurate. It's good to know what sorts of water you can drink and can't drink. Or if you're trying to die, maybe pooping is the way you want to go, because it doesn't, you know, it sounds kind of fun to poop a lot.
Poop to death? Poop your brains out?
I don't know if to death, but it starts out pretty relieving before it stops being that.
Maybe. I don't know. Hoping to avoid it overall.
Yeah, me too. I would like to.
But yeah, I don't know. Apocalypse sounds like a bad time. I like my creature comforts.
Call me a wild one here. I don't think the apocalypse sounds all that much like a fun idea.
I think that after a few TV shows, there's people that are like raring to go.
Yeah. There's so many people who like watch the main characters of TV shows as they're like flipping around and like beating up 50 bad guys at once with like a stick, and they're going like, dude, I'm so like that guy, dude. That's me. Oh my god.
Like, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of fun with like Fallout, but I don't want to live Fallout. That sounds terrible. No,
God no. If I were to live in the Fallout universe, I'd probably be a ghoul. That would probably end up being my fate. I'd be like, you know, tending bar, going like, "What's up, smooth skin?" That would be me.
Hey there, smooth skin.
Hey, what's going on there, smooth skin? So yeah, what a fun topic. But yeah, Doomsday Preppers sounds like a fun show. I would enjoy that. I've watched a lot of Intervention, but that
one seems sad.
It's pretty sad. It's not like it's good in any variety, but that show is very interesting. I watched it because my ex enjoyed watching it, so I'd watch, you know, if I was home and she was watching it, like that's what I was watching, because, you know. But that show is interesting because, yeah, every single person who had an issue on that show or who was on that show, you start out and they're like, oh man, they're addicted to drinking hand soap, or, you know, oh dear, this guy's inhaling like car exhaust constantly.
Are you thinking of My Strange Addiction or
No,
Intervention?
that's an episode of Intervention. There was a guy who drank hand soap because the alcohol content in it got him really drunk.
That's sad.
Yeah, but then you like as the episode goes on and they talk to their family and you know you sort of see how they go throughout their day. You start to sort of really understand why it is that they got into that addiction in the first place. You almost always you can like every episode of that show, save for like the odd one or two here or there. You watch this person's life and you watch all of their relationships. And you can almost always, by the end of the episode, point to like one or two or like a group of people and say, that's your problem. Those.
So it's the families.
It's almost
the people
always
invited to the intervention are the reason.
Usually it's like it's almost always like a mom or a dad. Sometimes it's the whole family. Just a toxic situation, but like you can almost always like point to the mom or the dad and be like, you're the reason this is going on right now. You can almost always see it, and it's because like you know the one parent is either like overbearing or you know this or that, but it's almost always by the end of the episode you as from an outside perspective of this life you can point and be like, you cut that tumor out of your life right there, your shit would be a little better.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, it's a depressing show, and they, yeah, it's just not a good show. The people who do the interventions, like who are part of the show, are amazing people. Like, yeah, like holy shit, like every single one of them. And some of them are like, one or two of them are people who were like on a previous episode of the show, and like had gone through an intervention and then recovered and decided to sort of
cool.
Yeah, there's one or two people who like in the later seasons of the show that was their sort of backstory. But no matter what, like the people who run the interventions on that show are either very patient, very kind, or know what the fuck is up. And you usually get one, there's like usually when you get an intervention, it's like one of like 6 like people or so, maybe like one of 3, and it kind of varies depending on the season, like who you're gonna get or like what the pool of like interventionists is. But like let me tell you, either you're gonna get the most patient person in the world who will just like listen to you for a whole day. You're gonna get the nicest person in the world who will like give you a hug that'll make you see God or some shit like that. Or you're gonna get like the guy who's not gonna give you a hug and he's not gonna be very nice, but like when he's done talking to you, you're gonna you're gonna be reassessing shit. It's always
gonna tell you what you need to hear.
He's gonna tell you what you need to hear, and they usually pick the interventionist sort of based on what I think is the most successful approach.
It's good that it sounds like they're actually trying to help and not fully, because you know, a reality show by definition is exploitative. Like that's the whole thing. Sure. People sign up for it, but then it's like, you know, taking people's lives and making content. So it's nice that they're at least like taking some care with like if the people helping are the way you describe them, then they're actually like trying to set these people up for some success, despite the fact that there's cameras all around them, which might not be the most helpful aspect.
The interventionists are seem like really solid and good people. I would say the show as a whole seems a bit more altruistically minded than most reality shows. Like there was actually one episode I watched where the crew found out by the end of the episode that the person who they were trying to like set the intervention up for was like faking it essentially, and so they just like cut the episode short, or I forget what they did exactly, but I just remember like once they realized, they were like, they showed everything leading up to that point, but then they were like, this person doesn't get, like, this episode is over. Like we found out that this person was faking it.
They're cured.
Yeah,
they're an asshole.
Yeah,
but they're cured.
And I think one of the seasons was actually about the opioid epidemic at large. So instead of like focusing on, I didn't watch the season, but if my understanding of it is correct, instead of like being about like, you know, doing an intervention in an episode, trying to like, you know, help the like one person each or one or two people each episode, it's more of like the overall season's almost more documentary like, just kind of covering the opioid epidemic in America and sort of focusing, I think, on the tri-state area. Which is interesting. It's definitely a shift, but I respect it. I mean, it seems like they're taking it very seriously, and I you know,
that's good.
I appreciate that.
I always expect those shows to. Some of those shows are like, they frame it like they're trying to help people, but then like they put like silly music on while like the person's doing something like off. Like they're obviously like having a laugh like at these people's expense.
Yeah, like you can still feel the corporate
guiding the audience to do that.
You can still feel the corporate hands sort of like putting its weight on the scales sort of on the show here and there, but for the most part, I would say Intervention does feel like a show that's trying to at least be like in some way, shape, or form actually helpful and trying to achieve a mission of some kind. Yeah, which, you know what, good. That's you love to see it.
Bubba Rocket says, "I need me some Mr. Tough Love."
Yeah, no,
Sending you to child boot camp.
Sometimes it was like this old lady, if I remember correctly, and she was just like this tiny old woman. She must have been like 70, and she would just it's been so long since I've seen an episode of that show, but I just remember her being like, no fucking nonsense. She'd like get you to sit down in front of her, and then she'd be like, so what's the deal with this? Or something like that, and then just dress down your whole life and just really give you a spoonful of tough medicine that's necessary. It was really a joy to watch. I would say, if anything, the best parts of those shows were watching the interventionists just do their thing, because I mean that's what I hate so much about a lot of these reality shows, is so many reality shows are sort of like, hey, look at all this drama, whoa, bits, goofy shit. You know what is like one of the most entertaining things to watch is somebody who's just good as fuck at their job. Like so many, like if you ever watch like a movie or like an anime or like some kind of TV show and you think about who's like the most badass character on the TV show, it's usually like whoever's like dope as fuck at their job and just like is good at that. I don't know. So if I was like, I wish there was a reality show that was just like, or at least I wish there were more reality shows that were like, hey, here's somebody who's just good as fuck at their job. Like no bits, no like just heavy wall of music that you have to put up with the entire time. It's just a dude who's good at his job. I'd watch that. I'd watch the hell out of that. What's that show called? Efficiency. Damn, you did that?
Yeah, that could be a good show.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, think about what's like a, I don't know, when I think of examples of like characters who are like, that's a cool character, it's like because they're good as shit at like the thing they do. Like you don't like the bumbling idiot. You don't think they're cool. You think the guy who's good at his fucking his job and doesn't make a big deal about it is cool. Like that's like, that's, you know, people like to watch the cool characters. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Other good reality shows. I know I've seen a few.
Me and Morgan were on the Bachelor and Bachelorette kick for a little while. We've kind of fallen out of that for a little bit just because the show, I think the problem with it, and this is great for people who like really love it, but the problem with it is it never ends. When a season of The Bachelor ends, I think there's one, like, and this is gonna sound like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. There's like a week or two where it's off, and then the next season starts.
They can just keep pumping that shit out.
It goes forever. It's like the easiest TV to produce in the world, I think. Like, it's just like, people they just pay to put them in some like situations like today you're playing flag football, and then like just record them, and then like record the drama and record people talking, and then they also like they've been doing it for like 20 years now, so they got it down how to like make people fight and how to get good, like they just know how to like make content out of it. It's a whole thing. But it's fun, but it's also I just like it's just too much. I couldn't like it's like each episode's like an hour and a half. Like it's just such a time commitment for like the dumbest shit in the world. I'm just like, I'm done.
That's fair. That's very fair.
But it's pretty fun, I will say. When I was watching it, there was this podcast I was listening to that was pretty fun. It's like a like to watch along with, or to listen to along with it, because it treated the whole thing like sports. So they would have like names for all the plays and everything like that. Like it'd be like Jonathan pulled a like IWRR, which stands for in it for the wrong reasons. Like they like have all these like phrases that all the people say often. They like have all these terms, and they're like, this is the play of the game. Or like somebody's like does something just really like shitty, like that would be shitty as a person, but like in the context of trying to win this game show and called The Bachelor, they're like, wonderful play by so and so, like like all this like manipulation stuff. I don't know, it just kind of turned this whole like, they frame it like these are real people,
doing it like ESPN almost.
Yeah, exactly. But it was fun to watch, just because obviously so much of it is not like people acting like real people anyway. So
yeah, no one acts like these people do.
The fact that they treat it, you know, for what it is makes it pretty entertaining.
And you know, I enjoy. I you know, it's fun to see people recontextualize these ridiculous going-ons.
The show's pretty trashy otherwise.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. it's like that show, and those types of shows, the dating shows, are like probably the trashiest types of reality shows, not because like of the dating aspect inherently, but because it's like, hey, have a TV show like match make you and like do these ridiculous competitive challenges for like somebody's love. Like that's just inherently just a trashy concept.
Yeah,
so
it's just kind of evil.
You're just gonna get the worst people.
Right, exactly, and that's why you watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
But anybody who treats it like you're actually finding love on one of these shows, I don't know, you're lost. You're lost in the wilderness.
I'm gonna make this background actually darker. Yeah, reality TV. I'm trying to think if there's any other reality. I mean, I've watched a lot of Hell's Kitchen. I've said that. That show's fun for an entirely different array of reasons. Man, I can't. I've seen a lot of reality TV. I would usually like mostly when I was living with my ex, but I can't think of.
I haven't watched any in a while.
I did. You know what? I did watch that one about like the 600-pound people.
Oh,
and that show is
sad too.
It's not great. It's like that's another one of those shows where you like just get a glimpse into these people's lives, and you can usually like point at some aspect and be like, that's what's making you feel compelled to eat right there. I can see it happen after this scene.
I feel like those shows kind of pick fun, and that's just like, and it's not like, you know, I don't know. It's weird when it's like, come watch this freak show type thing. When it's like,
yeah, I don't enjoy that aspect of it at all. And it's that the 600-pound life whatever show it's always the same. Every episode always plays out the same. It's like what they do is like there's this person who's like 600 pounds, and then they're like, I can't stop eating, and then like, you know, you get to watch a horrific scene of them like eating a ridiculous amount of food, and them like not being able to control it, and then like they're crying, and then you're like, oh god. And then they go to like this doctor who's, it's almost always the same doctor on that show. He's got like this weird name, And oh, it's okay. He's got like this wild name. I don't remember it, but it sounds like a sentence. And he's like this tiny dude, and he's always like, "You have to stop eating. If you keep eating, you will die." And then like, "Okay, doc." And he's like, "Okay, so you're gonna do one exercise. You're gonna lift your arms every day for 10 minutes." And then they don't. And then they don't do the exercise.
No, they never do.
They try doing the exercise for like 10 minutes. And then they give up, and then they just go back to eating more food, and then you're just like, oh god, this person is needs serious help, but we have no infrastructure in this country to assist a person with this. And yeah, that's the show. It's these poor people who just can't have like...
Sounds terrible.
Absolutely just no control over themselves, and you know, it's you can blame them to a certain degree, but you know, when you watch those shows, you're just like, fuck, there is something.
Even if it's their fault, it's still not fun to watch people like struggle.
Of course not, but like you can see these people, and you can see like there is something going on in their brain that is making them like eat like this or something like that, and that feels really bad, is when you're just like, god, that you just really can't help it.
Yeah, I don't know. TV has gotten a lot better over the years, but it's also gotten a lot worse in other ends. Like there's other opposite ends of the spectrum where it's just getting like, it's getting more like cinematic, and television is better than movies in some way now. But then on the other end, it's just like Discovery Channel and the Learning Channel are like a joke now.
Yeah,
just like freak
so
shows.
Sci-Fi
like, let's
Channel.
laugh at these weirdos.
Yeah, or the History Channel is also a joke. Yeah, and I think yeah, the you know, we lost Roman Colosseums. We can act like we're all very civilized because we stopped doing Roman Colosseums. We no longer kill each other for entertainment, but you know, I don't know if this is worse or not.
Right, kind of the same level.
We're watching people like struggle, like trying to carry like a boulder, and then just watching it slowly squeeze the life out of them. That's like what we've turned reality show. Like we've gone from watching people slaughter each other to watching one person just get slowly squeezed into juice by life, and that's reality TV. This is a great episode. We're really fucking funny this episode. We're laugh riot. Why do they keep laughing? Why do they keep laughing?
On that note, I think we should take a little break.
Let's take a little breaky poo.
All right. How do you feel about this drawing?
I'm okay with it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay with it, folks. Oh, we were dropping frames like crazy.
Oh man, it's having a rough go of it this week.
Really is, yeah. Internet's been kind of janky. I really should restart the router.
And it's a shame because the quality of this episode is just off the charts. So yeah. It's a shame that people can't see it.
It's a shame they can't hear us talk about the sad realities of life. Anyways, we haven't been right back yet. Let's do that. Bye. Whoa.
We back.
Wow. Whoa.
How was your break, Ian?
It was good. I got water. I've been drinking water like a madman.
It's good. I also got some more water.
Good, good. It's good to be hydrated, folks. It's good to be hydrated.
Every time I'm doing DrawBomb, there's just like a lineup of beverages next to me. I have like water and LaCroix and like a beer sometimes, or I don't know, just all sorts of various accoutrements.
Accoutrement. Oh, I just realized we never got the sub goal up on the...
Oh, we'll have to do that next time.
Just realized that now. But yeah, just imagine if we had like a studio and like a mini fridge, dude.
Whoa.
Dude.
We could do the show like the way we do now, except we'd be sitting right next to each other. They just wouldn't know it.
Yeah. We would be like, what's that? We start talking to the microphone. In order to hear each other. We're doing an exquisite corpse, is that right?
I believe so.
Folks.
Forget how we set it up in the past. Oh yeah, go ahead and explain it to the peeps.
Folks, an exquisite corpse is this lovely game artists do where you draw a head and then you leave little connector bits and then you hide the head from the next person and the next person sees the neck connecty bits and they draw a body and then you cover up everything except for the connecty bits of the body and the arms maybe, and then the last person draws the legs and using the connecty bits from the arms and the body. That is an exquisite corpse. I think what we can do, because this is draw pile, we are able to move shit around. This is going to be...
We could put the connecty bits on that in a way that we can both see them, and then I could hide your layers, you could hide mine.
Hold the frickin' phone. Is there a way to fill?
So the guests could watch, and we wouldn't know what the other person's doing.
Hold on. Hold your horses.
I want to do it now.
Is this not? Why is this not? Why? Okay, hold on. This is being annoying. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I'm just trying.
You want me to hold horses or the phone? Make up your mind.
I need the horses. Hold on. Hold the phone. Because you can make a square, but you can't have it like filled when you make it in this program.
Double Rocket says beer is the opposite of hydrating. I know. I have water too. I'm trying to counteract each other.
We'd get
constant
some
battle.
We'd get some La Croix, and we'd get some beer.
La Croix.
And we'd have some
Zeze
next
says,
to each other.
Hold the horses instead of the phone. She's a horse girl, so she's biased. She would choose.
You married
the
a
horses.
horse girl.
I did. She's recovering. This is like one of those my addiction shows. Basically, every once in a while I find like a briar horse like under her bed, and I have to like be like, "What is this? What is this?
Tell me."
She's
What
like,
is
nothing.
this?
It's nothing.
See what I got here? This is our cover.
That's a cube.
So we hide the cube for the head, and then when we're ready, we take the cube and we put it over the head.
Okay.
And then you know, it's literally we're taking something and covering up.
Do we want to hide it from the guests or from the people watching, or should we like do it like we do rock paper pencil?
Well, it's gonna be tough because the guests get whatever is hidden is gonna be hidden from the guests. And
what if we? Oh, I thought normally when we do rock paper pencil, you can't see mine and I can't see yours, but they can see both.
Well, yeah, because when we do that, it's because we're hiding individual layers from ourselves, but the OBS is watching a third window where all the layers are on all the time.
Yes.
So we would have to basically remove the square entirely for that window to not have the square appear on it.
Okay.
So guests are gonna just not see.
Hear me out real quick.
Or audience. Okay.
Why don't you hold your horses? Why do we keep saying guests? I think I started that.
You've sullied our vernacular.
Hold your phone and your horses. What if we did like all right, this is like the neck and whatever, you know, the normal way. This is the waist and the wrists or whatever. And whatever, this is the ankles. And then I had yours, you hide mine. I draw like the head and the hands and the feet. Oops. Sorry. And then you do the in-between parts here and here. And they'd be able to see it all, but we wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, but I think it would be more fun if they got a reveal as well. Like, if we're doing an exquisite corpse, but we're the only ones who just aren't seeing part of the body, like, there's no reveal for them then. By the time we've sort of finished drawing the exquisite corpse,
That's true. That's true.
We should also, we should make this more vertical. We should flip this canvas. I think if we, or we should resize this canvas so that it's more vertical.
I love figuring things out on the air.
Me too. It's so great.
Fun to watch, I'm sure.
People love this. So I can't actually resize the canvas.
You want to resize the canvas?
Just to make it like, instead of 1920 by 1080, making it like 1080 by 19, just making it vertical instead of horizontal.
The deed is done.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to... Okay. So... just gonna do us a favor real quick. So, one of us draws a head, but the other person can't see, so I'm just gonna look away for a while. You draw the head, and I'll look away for a while. How about that?
Alright.
And then you just gotta cover it up. Just like scribble over it with a big brush marker on a different layer to cover it up and, you know, leave the neck holes. And then we'll be good.
Alright.
Thought I'd play it for you guys next. Here we
I'll
go.
do that.
Okay. In the meantime... I mean, I don't got a whole lot going on with me, so I guess I'll just,
Have you done anything this past week, or watched anything, or played anything new?
You know, tonight's my last night to finish Severance. Got about 4 episodes.
So you doing that after the show?
We'll see, I might get a couple episodes in. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the season before, once Ted Lasso comes out again. I mean, that's going to be another season, or another month of having the Apple TV. And, you know, if I'm feeling saucy, I might drop the $5 one of these months just to, like, finish up some shows. But yeah, I've been watching Severance. I'm liking that.
I'll just give you my info.
Oh, that's
So you don't
okay.
rush.
Not in any rush to... That show's got another season coming out, and that's gonna be a little bit, so, you know. So I'm not like I'm not in a particular rush to like hurry up and wait, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just finished the first season of Reboot, that Hulu original, the other day. And I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, I have it on my list. I just haven't watched it yet.
I really, really like it, so I highly recommend folks check it out. It's one of those shows.
So you liked it in the beginning, but you've upgraded to really liking it now.
Yeah, it stayed good. It's one of those shows where the first season kind of ends, and you're like, oh, okay. So I would really like for there to be more seasons of it because I'm intrigued in seeing where the story goes. And I'm really enjoying the characters, and I'm enjoying what the show is doing with its tone, its characters, its what it's trying to say. It's one of those shows you watch episodes and you just feel good, and that's nice. It's nice to have a show where you feel good at the end of it. So yeah, I recommend.
Nice, wholesome show.
Yeah, so I recommend folks check out Reboot on Hulu. The live action one, not the Canadian animation from the 90s.
Ian hates animation.
I do. Get animation out of my face. Balbo Rockets.
Twist.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what an ironic twist that you get paid to do it.
I know, but I hate it.
What a hell you live in.
Oh, jeez. My curse this torture chamber of my own machinations. Balbo Rocket says we watched Jumanji last night to compare it to Jurassic Park because they watched that recently as well.
Original Jumanji?
Yeah, the original. And I remember watching it with Balbo Rocket, and she did not enjoy it.
How do you feel about it? Is it?
Jumanji?
Do you like it? Yeah.
I think it's charming enough, but especially now that as a genre, maybe that was like the formula maker, but it did feel very formulaic in terms of, you know, adventure show or adventure movie where, you know, characters are put through this fantastical situation. Like, I think it's good. I enjoy it. But it definitely feels... it feels very standard.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm not sure how I'd feel about it now. I haven't seen it in many years.
My favorite scene in the whole movie was there's the scene where Robin Williams and the kids are in like the car and they're getting attacked by like a hornet or something like that, and the whole time he's just like, oh, see, it's no worries, we're in the car, and the hornet like starts poking through the roof of the car, and he's just like, oh, see, it can't get through the roof, just get down really low. And then like the hornet goes to like the front windshield and he's like, yeah, see, it can't get in. And then the hornet like stabs the windshield of the car, and like the hornet stinger pierces through the windshield of the car, and then Robin Williams just goes, hey, would any of you happen to be able to drive? His delivery during the whole scene is just so like the
movie's probably carried by his like just great.
It is, yeah. And in that scene in particular, he's got like this perfect amount of like calm, like without like he's not like he doesn't seem like he's exceptionally trying to like be calming to the kids. He just sort of seems like he's almost like calm actually, but like, you know, it's just like as like the situation just kind of keeps going from bad to worse, he's just kind of keeps going like, hey, don't worry, like we're still in the car, we're safe, we're good. No, don't worry about that, we can manage with that. Hey, we gotta leave. It's like
he spent 30 years running from that stuff, so he's like,
yeah,
kind of probably used to it, but also, you know, also trying to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. So his delivery in that scene in particular really tickled me, and so I thought that scene I really enjoyed. The rest of the movie I thought was okay. I thought it was kind of just fine.
I remember I don't know how I'd feel about it now, but I remember liking David Alan Grier a lot in it as a kid too.
Yeah, that's his name. I was trying to figure out his name, and I didn't want to like look it up because I didn't feel like it. David Alan Grier, though, I like him. I like him as an actor. The whole time, Balbo Rocket was saying how she was just like, this guy just needs a win, or like, she just wanted anything good to happen for his character because this poor dude's just trying to do his job and his car is getting eaten by plants. He's definitely like one of the more sympathetic characters of that movie, I would say.
Yeah.
Balbo Rocket also says Jurassic Park came out before Jumanji, so those monkeys had no business looking that bad. And you're right, those monkeys looked bad, but there was some CGI in that movie that actually looked really good. Not gonna lie, some of it holds up. Not the monkeys. Not the monkeys. The monkeys were just really horrific looking, but
they're like nasty looking, like they're upsetting to look at.
Yeah.
It's like nightmare creatures, kind of.
They do not look like how monkeys look, but like when
yeah, it's like if somebody took a drawing, like a cartoon drawing of a monkey, and then like used that as a reference instead of like what a monkey actually looked like.
It's like, you know those old master paintings. There's like one in particular. I think it's called the Rape of Europa. It's like based on Greek mythology. But it's like Zeus abducting a woman, and there's like cherubs, and there's creatures in the water, and all this and that. And then there's like these creatures that are supposed to be, I believe, dolphins is what the thing is, but like the guy, like they're supposed to be dolphins. They look like some kind of weird sea monster, but they're supposed to be dolphins, but they look like they do because the artist had never seen dolphins. He was only ever informed of what dolphins looked like, you know, through people who had heard it from a guy who had heard from a guy. And so like these dolphins do not look like dolphins. They look like these weird toothy sea monsters. And the monkeys are kind of like the movie version of that from the old master painting.
As artists, we can go to the internet for references, but imagine your references just being like a guy explaining it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a shock seeing those monkeys. But then like when you watch David Alan Grier's car get eaten by the plant, that looks really good. That's actually really good CGI when he gets his car eaten by the plant.
Folded in half.
Yeah. And it looks great. It still holds up. And so do a couple of other sequences that were quite impressive for the time.
I wonder if they used any traditional effects for any of that kind of stuff.
You know, I have to wonder. We were watching with our friend Greg, who Greg has actually done some work in visual effects. So that's sort of like an aspect of films that he pays particular attention to, is like visual effects and how well they like blend into the movie and things like that. And he was saying one reason that certain like CGI from like the 90s and stuff like that still sort of looks sometimes good and like holds up is because of the transfer process to get it from, like, because it wasn't like nowadays you can just throw a fucking layer in DaVinci and then there you go, your CGI is in your movie. Like back then they would have to like print out the cells and like photograph it and then transfer it, and like, you know, all these different, like, it would still have to kind of go through these analog transfer methods, and that sort of degraded the quality of the CGI much in the same way the film quality sort of was degraded through the same process. So he suspects that maybe some, you know, older CGI still blends in so well because of that sort of transfer process. And I thought that was an interesting little thought experiment. Yeah.
Weird, but I guess that makes sense, but also like it's surprising that like in the same movie there'd be some that are so far one way and some that are so far the opposite.
Yeah, those monkeys are terrible looking, man. They really look bad. But some of it looks really good.
I'm almost done with mine.
All right. Still playing Elden Ring. Still.
Oh, nice. I forgot about that. I've been thinking about restarting it. Not that I need that time suck in my life again, but God, I love that game.
That's fair. I'm thinking like once I finish playing Elden Ring, I might just stream myself playing through Dark Souls.
Do it.
And
I've been trying to think of something good to stream. I want to use this channel for more stuff throughout the week, like besides just the show. And there's some VR games I've been wanting to play. I might do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would be happy to cut footage of you playing VR into another hilarious video.
There's a really good mod for Half-Life 2 in VR, and I feel like that'd be a fun way to replay that.
That would be fun.
Like, it's so good that even Valve like put it out on Steam, like officially.
I feel like any sort of VR just makes for better footage than standard playing a game on a controller.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on the type of game.
I think it also depends on the person who, like, because like in the Resident Evil VR thing, you're being a little bit more of a showman since you're streaming it.
Yeah.
And that I think allows for a lot more of a dynamic sort of performance, whereas if you were, you know, just sitting in a chair with a controller, there's only so much you can really do, you know.
And also I think that game will be good because at the time it came out, it's like physics and stuff made it kind of like stand out, but now in VR, those same physics will make it feel fun, like cool in VR, because you can pick things up and move them around in a very real way.
Got to do that cinder block puzzle, my dude.
Yeah, dude. Those cinder blocks aren't gonna know what hit them.
Dude, I can't wait for you to fucking.
Says I should play that.
Barrels.
Maybe I'll try to bring the baby again as long as I can.
Try to bring what? The baby, little baby doll.
A little baby doll. The only thing is you're gonna probably see me vomit on like the level where you drive the airboat.
Oh my god, I can only imagine. That would be kind of fun though. VR airboat. Even though it was such a little like segment, the jet ski at the end of Resident Evil 4 was like one of my favorite parts of the whole game. That part was cool.
Just like felt awesome in VR.
I do love that jet ski part. That part is a lot of fun. Not in VR, but I mean, like outside of VR, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm sure in VR it was a blast to see.
Now let's just get the chat to buy you a quest so that we can play stuff together.
Yeah, folks. Hook me up to that metaverse, dog.
All right, so you want me to put a block over it?
Yeah, or just scribble a big blob on a different layer over top of your head.
Okay, give me 1 second.
And leave your neck holes.
Oh, I'm gonna leave the neck.
I don't think they have one. That's why I was getting mad earlier.
What a joke. Alright. Give me 1 second then.
Maybe just make a huge brush and just scribble. I don't know.
That's what I'm doing.
So did you hear about all this Hero D&D controversy?
I kind of haven't. I know there is some, but feel free to fill me in.
Well, Bell Rocket says this track sounds like Atlantis from Banjo-Tooie. There's actually a good chance that this is sampling that song. One of my songs does sample that, so you're probably right. But I can't hear it.
All right, I'm ready for you.
All right.
When you open it up, you're seeing the bottom of the neck and part of the chin.
Okay.
That gives you an idea of what you're looking at.
Interesting. What was I saying?
Need any like help visualizing what you're looking at? I can help a little bit more, but
okay. What was I saying before I read Bell Rockets?
You were talking about the controversy.
Yes, the D&D thing. So basically, D&D, they have had this license where people could create content for D&D, officially licensed like as D&D stuff. And they could like make money off of it. It was called the Open Game License, excuse me, or the OGL. And a lot of folks made careers off of that stuff, like Critical Role. They have like custom content that people can buy. I'm gonna sneeze, hold on. And sneeze completed. Anyways,
bless you.
Thank you. So yeah, before you could make content for D&D and like have it like sell it as D&D content, like using the name and everything, according to this open game license, and it was granted in perpetuity, and it was so, you know, people could just make, because, you know, D&D it's almost like this sort of folk hobby where it's like a group of people like are constantly modifying it and tweaking it and making it better as like a whole for people to play, and then you release those improvements, and then that can sort of, you know, be sort of part of the D&D structure now. Anyways, so the original OGL gave people an exceptional amount of leeway in regards to like creating D&D content. And so D&D as a brand is owned by a company called Wizards of the Coast, who also own Magic the Gathering, and they're owned by Hasbro. And recently it was leaked that they're working on a new OGL, because apparently D&D is working on a newest edition of D&D called 1D&D. It's going to be like the newest variation of the rules, and I think they're working on like virtual tabletop software and a number of things. So they were apparently having like these meetings with people about this new OGL, and it got leaked, and apparently it was really bad because there's some nice stuff in there, like, hey, you know, we have rules against, like, you know, hateful content, this, that, and the other. But they also had rules. They first of all said that if you agree to make content for 1D&D, you are agreeing to the new OGL, which, by the way, revokes the old OGL. Even though that original one was, you know, supposed to has the words like in perpetuity in it.
Right.
And so also we have the right to well, first of all, if you make $750,000 off of whatever you're making of our D&D stuff, you have to pay us 25% royalty on revenue, which doesn't account for like expenses and things like that. That's not like the money, that's not like profit, that's just like money earned overall.
Is that after that point, or just like, oops, you hit this amount, now you suddenly back owe on everything you've made so far?
It's once you hit the 750. I don't know. Actually, like that is a good question.
Every dollar after that?
I'm not sure. I think it's retroactive. I'm not sure.
That seems crazy. If it was every dollar after, I mean, still would suck, but it would be more like, okay, you know, now, because otherwise, like, people are gonna be like shutting down their stuff like when it's getting close.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to go back. I have to owe back on everything.
People have been reacting as if it's retroactive, so I'm not totally sure, but it doesn't seem like people are reacting like it's good, so I have to assume it's
right.
retroactive. Give me 1 second, I'll blow my nose.
Oh, I heard that. I did.
Thought I muted myself, but okay.
I thought you did too. That's why I was gonna make a noise to like try to be funny. But,
I did mute myself in the show. I just didn't mute myself on Discord. Apparently, that button doesn't work all the time. Anyways, so also it gave Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro the right to, at any point, they could change the terms of like that revenue stuff, or like I think any terms of the contract in general, and they just have to give 30 days notice, and then it's applied. So like they could change those percentages, they could change that like revenue amount that needs to be hit. And then also I think the one thing that most people had a particular anger for was they had a provision that said hey, for any reason, Wizards of the Coast can, one, cut you out and say you're not allowed to publish this shit anymore, but also we can, anything that you make that's using the D&D name, we can use for our stuff just, you know, whenever we want, which people took to mean, you know, basically, if they like what you're making, or, you know, if they want to
steal it.
They could steal it, essentially, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people were particularly mad about these new rules, and it became like a whole big hubbub. And then, just like the other day, Wizards of the Coast released a cutesy statement saying, oops, we rolled a 1. Sorry, guys, we're going to change the OGL. It's not going to be what it says anymore. We were trying to do this, that, and the other. You know, there are, like, the excuses they gave, like, you could feasibly say that makes sense, but just knowing how corporations operate and the way that they do business, even if they say we truly didn't expect to be able, like, you know, we didn't think about it from that angle, you probably did. You probably were trying to hopefully open that door for yourself, just knowing how corporations operate.
People ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
Just, you know, do first and then, you know, see how it's received.
I just want to let you know, I drew my line art for this dude. I don't know why, on the bottom layer of our thing. So
Let me add some more layers.
Oh, I can add more layers. I just want to let you know that there's going to be more layers underneath BG3, and that's
fine.
That's why I just wanted to give you a heads up so you weren't confused.
That's all right. I have this whole setup saved, and I just open up a fresh instance of it each show. So.
Just for when you get to do the legs, when you do the legs, so you knew why.
Oh, I see.
You know, so you weren't confused about the layer dynamic going on there.
I have those layers hidden right now anyway, so I can kind of still look at my screen instead of being like turned away.
Excuse me. Oh my god. Okay, you might need to move some of these layers under after. Like there's a layer.
Can we do it now?
Yeah, go ahead. There's a layer 1. Just move that under BG3.
Done and done.
Much appreciated. So anyways, yeah, there's a big stink about these new rules for the OGL. Wizards of the Coast says they're rewriting it. Yeah, that's the sort of situation. The company that originally made Pathfinder, because what originally happened was that with D&D 4th edition, there was something they were trying to do that was also shitty, or people just really didn't like the rules. So this company called Paizo sort of created their own version of D&D called Pathfinder that used the previous edition's rules.
I've heard of Pathfinder.
Yeah. And so that became like an official competitor to D&D and really sort of ate a lot of their lunch. So when this news of this new OGL broke out, Pathfinder said, hey, or Paizo, the guys behind Pathfinder, said like, hey, we talked with a lot of different like D&D working like sort of with, or like, you know, sort of in that sphere, tabletop RPG businesses. And number one, the Pathfinder 2 OGL is super open and super free. And we got it backed up with like all these different like other businesses that are, you know, work in the tabletop RPG sphere. So if you guys, you know, if Wizards of the Coast tries to fuck you guys over. Yeah, exactly. So
that's the right way to play it.
Yeah, so there was just
like, hey, we're still here doing our thing.
Basically the whole D&D community like banded together and said like, this is fucked. We're not gonna do this. We're gonna let our displeasure be known, and we're gonna let Wizards of the Coast know that other avenues are available for us, like because
yeah, I was gonna say D&D. How did they think that was gonna play out? Like with people being like, okay,
I don't know. I truly don't. Here's the thing. I understand, like maybe like I can understand them wanting a cut of some like profits earned from like D&D stuff to some degree. Like I get that. Like, you know,
sure. Especially at like a certain limit, like if you make this much, then we want some, not retroactively, but like any dollar after that.
Exactly. But at the same time, you know, what was leaked was very, and like the leak was pretty much confirmed by the CEO of Kickstarter, because there was like these special rules carved out for Kickstarter based, like backed D&D content. And people were like, whoa, that's interesting. Why is that? And the owner of Kickstarter was like, yeah, I specifically argued to get like what I could out of like that percentage cut for us.
Oopsie, we rolled a 1.
Yeah. So yeah, that did happen. And it was nice to see like the whole community sort of be like, hey, this corporate overreach, it will not be cool with us. And
I've heard about people being upset. I just hadn't heard the actual deets.
That was the situation. And what's interesting also, as some people have pointed out, so much of the D&D lore is based on like other shit. Like it's basically like ripped off from like Tolkien. It's ripped off, like they have like Greek monsters in there, like Cyclopses, that's from Greek mythology. You've got, you know.
Right. Yeah, they didn't invent a lot of these things.
They didn't make dragons. They didn't make dungeons. They didn't make goblins. No. They didn't, you know, like what? Maybe they made kobolds. Possibly not. I don't know. But there's all these different creatures. Like they don't have the rights to that. So then, like, what does D&D have the rights to? Perhaps like the lore and the characters. Like, sure, they have the rights to that stuff, but who gives a fuck? Like most of the time, people
maybe they have like a patent on their like gameplay mechanics.
You can't. You're actually
you can't. Okay, I didn't
the
know.
reason. Well, that's the thing is like Legal Eagle. He released a video, and he said, he basically like how Words with Friends is basically Scrabble, but on a phone.
Yeah.
Is you're allowed to do that. I mean, you're allowed to do that because you can't copyright procedure. And so like rules to a game are basically like copywriting a procedure or like a method of doing something. So, basically when you make a game and you copyright it, what you're copywriting is like the exact wording of like the rules and like how it's explained.
Maybe the characters, maybe the art, maybe the
like Colonel Mustard is
titles.
Colonel Mustard is like covered under copyright, but like the rules to Clue are not. Like
they got sued by Heinz
because of the Colonel Mustard.
Because you can't use mustard. Not
can't
they invented mustard either.
No, they didn't. It's a seed. So yeah. So
God invented it. God invented this mustard seed.
Jesus on the mustard seed, dude.
Jesus can like.
Jesus
like a mustard seed.
Jesus ate mustard on his dogs, dude.
Yeah, Jesus ate Chicago dogs, bro.
Bruh. So yeah, so you can't like the 20-sided dice. You can't copyright. You can't copyright the rules. You can only copyright the exact wording and like whatever lore is specific to D&D. What's in the books. But otherwise, what are they really able to like take ownership of? Not a lot. So this whole situation is a weird situation. I would like to think that somebody in the legal department just legitimately fucked up and didn't think like, oh, our wording is sort of creating this loophole. But again, corporation's gonna corporate, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. It's highly likely that they had ill intentions. But there is a lot of pushback, and for all we know, and people have also speculated this, but they made these horrible provisions in the OGL, and then like they wanted the leak to happen because then people would be like, well, because what happens is you first drop a set of rules that are so terrible and awful that are just completely unforgivable, and then you walk them back somewhat, and then the rules that you actually give them are the ones that you wanted to, and then it seems less terrible compared.
Seems like you've compromised, even though this is all manipulation.
Yeah, you're still gaining grounds. People are speculating that. I mean, look, I don't know, like I don't think we're ever gonna have a specific answer unless we get like some kind of leak of a company memo. I don't think we're going to get a specific answer saying what their original intention was with this OGL and why it was so bad. And I'm not going to pretend like I do know. All we can do is speculate. And my speculation is going to err on the side of, these corporations probably wanted to do some bad shit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of intentional leaks that happen these days. Sometimes it's just like, it just seems like, A, how did it happen, and B, a little too convenient.
Yeah. This would be a pretty big leak too. All things considered, this was a pretty big leak. So the whole situation is very interesting. But yeah, so that was the whole OGL situation, and it was intriguing to watch unfold. Okay, I'm just about done finishing up right now. Let me just throw one last element in there. And you should be good to go.
Let's see, you drew on
the bottom two layers.
Got it. Okay. All right. I'll finish this baby up.
Alrighty, Rooney. So yeah, I managed to talk about all that while I drew my little corpsey poo.
Great job.
Thank you. It was really like scratching my head and rubbing my head belly.
I learned so much. Your head belly?
Head belly.
I'll scratch my head belly while chewing bubble gum.
The belly on my head. My head belly.
I used to play this game all the time as a kid. In school, we'd just like do this game and fold the top of the piece of paper and just draw, you know.
Yes,
like,
exquisite corpses.
Exquisite corpse. Yeah, yeah. Just play a lot.
It's a fun game. I remember the fortune teller thing, you know, where you do the folded pyramids. That thing was wild. Who the fuck? What genius came up with that? You know, like legitimately, like
little,
that is brilliant.
Teller thing, little. What?
Whoever,
the fold or what?
Just the fold, not like, oh, it tells you the future, but the whole folding process, like, you know, this like people who figure out origami or some shit like that. It's like, you're a genius. Like, how did you figure out how to fold this shit like this to make this game?
Yeah. I've never known how to fold those.
Me neither. No idea.
I should bring them back.
But whoever did, again, whoever made the first one of those, like, like, I hope you made $1 million because that shit is so smart.
How would you make any money off that? Because just kids doing it in school.
I don't know how you'd make money off that specifically, but I hope they made a money off of some other genius idea that they came up with, you know? Like,
right. It's probably, my guess is that it's, you should probably look it up. It's what are they called? I
have no idea. Paper fortune tellers?
Yeah, no, there's a very like specific name for them.
Oh no, when I looked up paper fortune teller,
I believe that you could find it that way. I'm just saying they had a very specific like
cootie catcher
name. Yeah, I've heard them called that.
Whirly
that
bird?
Might be what I'm trying to think of.
Chatterbox?
No, I haven't heard that name. Maybe I was thinking of cootie catcher.
Cootie catcher? I'm just looking it up, sorry.
I have no idea. But my guess is this thing has existed for a long time.
I'm assuming like it was probably made by.
It wasn't invented in the 90s by for children to play with. I'm sure it's been around for like since like, you know, back when people didn't have toys.
I'm sure whoever invented it, I'm sure like it was invented by like the same people who made origami. I'm assuming like whoever like, you know, was
like another origami fold.
Yeah, when they were like creating the original origami and like figuring that shit out for the first time, like they probably figured out how to do that around the same time.
Probably, bro. It's probably true, bro.
But yeah, that thing's fucking genius. I'm on the Wikipedia page. Is a form of origami.
There was that, and then there's the little mash game where you like you're gonna get married to Justin Timberlake and you're gonna live in a barrel. And remember that one?
I don't.
I wonder if any of our chat has ever played that, but it was like I forget what it basically. I think you used it with a cootie catcher, or you like rolled a dice or something. I forget what it was, but anyways, there was like for like who you're gonna marry, what you're gonna live in, what money you're gonna make. You'd like write down like 10 options for each, and then you'd like roll a dice till it selects one, and then at the end it'd be like a Mad Lib of like random shit, and then you get told like what your life's gonna be at the end, and it usually sucks.
It was kind of like in those specific pages of Captain Underpants books where they'd be like, what's your name you've gotten from the silly name scientist? And it'd be like, oh, first letter of your first name, second letter of your last name. And we can't forget about the high school S.
Yeah, who would forget?
Everyone learned how to draw that.
My first and only tattoo.
I love that that's like a item in Satisfactory. I wonder if they still have that high school S in Satisfactory.
I don't remember that. Where was it?
You just found it around in certain spots, but it was like when you got it was like placeholder item.
I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should play that again sometime. That'd be a fun one.
That'd be a good stream game.
It'd be fun to try to build like a real factory.
Yeah. Be a good game to stream sometimes.
Very well could be.
Also just a fun game to play. You know, we don't have to stream our whole lives. We're not doing everything for clout.
I was talking to this person I know. They were saying they were hanging out with their cousins who apparently have a decent following doing like blogging, like your life type thing. And I'm like, God, that sounds exhausting. Like,
I couldn't.
When your life becomes the content, how do you like relax? Like, anytime you're like chilling out and like something fun happens, you're like, oh, I should have been filming. Like,
well, one upside I can see to it is that because you essentially have to create interesting content, it's sort of incentive for you to do something every day, like to live an interesting life. So you're always going to like new restaurants, you're always trying out new things. Like, that's cool. Like, it's giving you a reason to sort of be doing these things constantly. However, downside is
the means to do it. Just fucking do that stuff and don't record it and have a great life.
But this is how you get that. This is how you get the means to do this stuff is by recording it. Like, this is your bag. But it seems exhausting having to do that. Like if I had to like live the fuck out of my life like 5 days a week or more, like I'd be exhausted, man. And then two, like just recording myself like eating food or like just recording myself doing stuff just is very awkward for me.
And then what, like at like 10 o'clock at night you go and like edit it all your whole day?
I'm sure they pay people to edit. I'm sure Casey Neistat has an editor.
Well, sure. I mean, especially, but when you're starting out, you gotta do your own.
Yeah. Well, you probably have less money to do crazy shit every day as well. You've been making money.
Sounds brutal.
It sounds brutal. I mean, it sounds like it could be fun. It's like, you know, when you see those guys, like if you watch somebody feed Phil, you know, he's going to these amazing countries, he's eating this amazing food, and there's like a camera on him the whole time, but he's not like filming himself. But do you really think that sounds like a more exhausting or a less exhausting life than
less exhausting?
Right, but
I think got a mission. We're going to eat some food. You're going to record it. You're not like, today we're going to the grocery store, and then I'm going to clean my car, and then we're going to the theme park, and you're going to be there for the whole thing. Like you're walking on, like every part of your life is the content.
Well, yeah, but like, same with him, man. Like if you're on somebody feed Phil, like how much do you want to bet he's got somebody?
I've never watched it, so.
Oh well, it's just like a show where he goes to a country and then he eats food and he explores the world. You know, it's like your standard food show.
I just feel like a travel show is like there's like all right, that's a wrap. Like there's a moment where you're like done. But if your life is the content,
right? But
when you turn it off and relax.
When you say that's a wrap, like that's when you relax. But until you say that's a wrap, you're probably on a tight schedule. You got producers hounding you. You got people making sure you're not going anywhere dangerous on your trip. Like I'm sure your life is so much more controlled if you were doing like a travel food show than if you were just like vlogging your life, you know, every so often editing a video. I feel
maybe
like
the answer is I need like a little like I need to like a direction or like a focus other than just a day in the life, because sure, I think making like a travel food show sounds great. You get to go cool places, eat cool stuff, and it's all bankrolled by your project. I could do that. But if it's just like every day of my life on camera, like that sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I mean, I think if you're doing a travel food show, I think your life is just as controlled. You're not on a camera necessarily 24/7, but you are under somebody's eye, you know. I think if you're vlogging, you know, Yeah, I mean, who's to say they're vlogging literally every day of their life? I mean, Casey Neistat did, because that was like his whole shtick was like, hey, every single day.
There's a lot of people that try to pull that number where it's like videos every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, that seems tiring, but, you know, what, you cut together a 15-minute video? How much do you really got to film to get a 15-minute video? You know, it's,
I don't know.
There are people who are definitely grinding for their vlog channels, but I don't think you have to necessarily grind quite. Like, the hardest part is booking all the fun shit to do and then going to those places and then doing the fun life things. Like, you know, if like 5 days out of the week, or even 4 days out of the week, I was like, okay, today we're going to this restaurant, and then we're going axe throwing, and then we're going to this restaurant, and then we're going bowling, and then we're going to this restaurant, and then tomorrow we're gonna race cars, and we're gonna drift cars, and then we're gonna eat at a restaurant. You know, like having to
I think a lot of these people are more mundane than what you're thinking. Like, a lot of these people are just like, there's like a whole section of YouTube that's just like people like just hanging out with my kids, and then we're going to the mall, and then,
well, there's family vlog channels, which is different, and usually those are your, like, there's like an ecosystem for each of those. Like, so like for a vlog channel, so let's show off the exquisite corpse.
all right, you can just hide top one. Oh god.
Oh my god.
That's TOS. No, it's a man. It's a man.
This is something.
It's upsetting.
This turned out the way it did, all right.
I love. Is that a penis chest hair?
No.
What do you mean?
Penis chest hair. I'm sorry. It's called chest hair. That's not
Why would
penis.
you say it that way?
Your penis is not your chest, okay?
That's true. That's a good point. Wow. That poor horse.
That poor, my poor eyes.
Yeah, that too.
You made yours horrifying by itself. Like, even if we hid the rest of the body, like, yours is kind of scary.
Just what, the head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little upsetting.
It's like one of those, like, it's like one of those faces that like pops up in a screamer. Like, that's supposed to like scare you. It's like that's the face that's in the screamer to scare you.
They're smiling. They're friendly.
They've got less teeth than fingers.
That's true. It's a good observation. But you know, maybe just because, you know, finding good dental work in this country, it's the healthcare system in this country. Not everybody can afford quality dental work. Doesn't mean they're a bad person.
That's so true. I feel like we had to label
Mr.
it.
Oh, my dad's a dentist. Everybody should have teeth. Everybody should just have teeth.
Everyone should have fucking as many teeth as they can. Hoard your teeth. Stockpile them.
Ian, do you have anything to plug before we go?
Check out our YouTube shorts on this channel. We've been uploading shorts on the daily.
Yeah, just our social medias in general, I think would be good to follow.
Yeah, help us out a little bit. Get us
sort of thing.
Get us that algorithmic pish. Critter Cam, hoping to put it up probably tomorrow. Critter Cam number 2 would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been posting more on the. We've been posting more on the Twitter and the Instagram. So if you're one of those people that likes to follow that sort of thing, go ahead and do that on those social medias.
I also one other thing I forgot. I do this like Monday night stream show every Monday.
What's it called?
It's called 2 Dudes, 1 Drawing.
That was kind of like my intro.
That was, yeah.
I would watch it, but I unfortunately am streaming my own show around that time. So.
Oh man, okay, that's a shame, but I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called DrawBomb. Check us out every Monday at 8 p.m. This channel, same bat time, same bat channel.
Show up at 8 to see our show starting soon screen, and then show up at 8:15 for the show.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm not gonna.
They got their 2 hours out of us.
They did.
Oh yeah, I forgot to press the outro button. DrawBomb is recording live from a studio audience.
Okay, good. Now we're nice and pink and purple.
That's right.
As we should be.
As we
Thanks for watching,
should be.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you all
Thanks,
so much.
Zay, thanks, Balbo Rocket. Thanks, Xenoots. Thanks, Leviathan Den.
Thank you everyone. All. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
Have a happy week. Have a happy weekend. I wish you all the best.
All of your dreams come true.
Yeah, and just everyone take care. Be nice to each other. And yeah, that's it.
Bye.
Bye. DrawBomb is recorded live from a studio audience. You're not gonna clean the screen like that.